Well, when it's that warm first thing in the morning in December, I think we have a pretty good chance of seeing some herps today. So let's go see what we can get into. We've got some super safe driving conditions this morning. This is gonna be fun. All right, well, we have our first snake of the day pretty early. There might be two over there, but there's at least one cottonmouth right there. We're gonna try to get a closer look. All right, well, I believe that is our first snake of December. Nice adult cottonmouth, a little bit on the thin side, but other than that, pretty good looking snake. Kind of an interesting yellowish transition there on the top of the head. And then a decently colorful body too. Well, this guy is getting a little grumpy, so we're gonna leave him right there, but you can see from this angle, it's actually a pretty colorful and handsome looking snake. Very nice. Get a look at the fangs right there. It's pretty obvious why they call them cottonmouths. Richard just exclaimed, "Whoa!" And there's a good reason why. Look at that. And that is remarkable. We had just been looking around these stump holes behind us and did not see anything. We were talking about how this is usually a good spot for something when Richard spots that guy. Off to a pretty good start so far. Look at this sweetheart just letting Richard take photos. And this snake is probably a foot off the ground, maybe a little higher. Fantastic. Well, that makes the day for sure, if it wasn't made already just by seeing any kind of snake in December, because it's been such a rough winter so far. But we're just gonna leave that beautiful snake right there. He's probably gonna chill there for the rest of the day unless our presence has disturbed him. So we'll just leave him to it and hope he continues on with his business. But hopefully there will be many more snakes to come. It feels fantastic. It's only about 10:30 in the morning and we've already seen a cottonmouth and a timber. There's a little southern leopard frog basking right there. I'm assuming that's what that is. He's probably gonna jump if I get too close. You see him pretty well. All right, so we got two more snakes here. We got this cottonmouth, which I'm pretty sure we've seen before. And then over there's another one way up off the ground. This guy's pretty recognizable because his head is just gigantic. Like, it almost looks like he's got something wrong with him because his head's so fat. But cottonmouth number 2 and cottonmouth number 3 for the day over there. Well, it's gonna be pretty impossible to see, but there is a black racer right there. Maybe it'll be, oh, we got a cloud coming in. You can see him a little better now. Black racer up in a tree. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So my theory as to why all the snakes are in the trees, and I talk about this semi-regularly, is snakes do not like to be wet, especially when it's not particularly warm outside. So when we do get a warm spell in the winter like this, I think they try to take advantage of it to dry out. And the ground is a lot wetter than the trees are. You can see all these leaves hold so much moisture that it doesn't do them very good to sit on that when they could be sitting up off the ground like this, where it's dry. So, really neat. Here is an eastern box turtle. This is a species that I have definitely grown to not enjoy seeing in the winter because they are never healthy. And you can see he's got a little puffed up eye and a little swelling on his head. I'm not sure I've ever seen a healthy looking eastern box turtle in the winter, and I think a lot of these guys are sick with ranavirus, which is definitely creating a lot of the problems we see with box turtles these days. So definitely unfortunate. There's nothing I can do about it though. So anytime we see an unhealthy box turtle, we try to keep our hands off of it and move on. So we're gonna do that with this guy too. All right. This is a pretty classic rat snake pose. Our next snake of the day. I have a man on my leg. Look at this big handsome dude. What's up, dude? He's flicking at me. How's it going? All right, we'll leave this guy alone. Well, there is our next snake. Another rat snake. This one's a little smaller and a little darker. Perfectly posed right on top of this stump hole. Look at this guy, just chilling. A lot darker than the last rat snake, quite a bit smaller too, so we're just gonna leave that guy right there as well. The day is cranking along pretty nicely. So, assuming I counted correctly, this would be our 9th snake of the day, and I believe it's the 7th I've shown. Richard lost a black racer and a Nerodia that I didn't get to see, so. Here's a little ground skink just basking on top of this log like he's a snake. Look at that. He doesn't care at all, he's just chilling. And there's another rat snake. A few minutes later, this one's actually kind of on the crawl. Get a quick photo.
See if we can get those there in focus.
It's a sharp looking snake. He's definitely probably the darkest one we've seen today. Hopefully we can get to double digits that we actually get to show on the video. But it's been a very snaky day so far. And I think we still have probably another hour or two of good light before it starts getting dark. Here's yet another rat snake. This one is way back in this bramble pile. Here's a little bit better angle, but you can see he's just way back in there. Well, I just flipped our next rattlesnake of the day under bark. Look at that. Hello, buddy. That's ridiculous. Well, that was weird. Very tiny piece of bark had a fairly large timber rattlesnake under it, our 2nd one of the day. It's crazy that it's warm enough today that they're actually underneath stuff like that rather than being out in the open. All right, well, that is awesome. It's a little bit hairy securing him for video, but man, that is a stunning snake. Look at that. He's nice and relaxed now. Very, very cool. 2nd rattlesnake of the day. Still haven't seen a copperhead, and that's like the venomous trio in this part of the state. You get a copperhead, a cottonmouth, and a timber. But so far we have just seen cottonmouths and 2 timbers. But I'm not going to complain about that. That is a beautiful snake. Keep going. Perfect. All right, let's see if we can get a hat trick. There's 2 rattlesnakes so far. Going right back under his piece of bark.
I did not expect him to be under that bark.
Me neither. I wasn't expecting anything to be under that bark, much less a rattlesnake. So we are like right beside where we just found that last rattlesnake, and look at this. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is a titanic rattlesnake. Holy crap, and it's so beautiful. Look at that thing's stripe. Oh my goodness. That is just so obscene. It speaks for itself. I don't have to say anything else.
Rustling the bush.
All right. Well, like I said, that animal speaks for itself. Huge adult timber rattlesnake. Right past the 2nd timber rattlesnake of the day. That's our 3rd one. Rattlesnake hat trick here in December. Fantastic. Let's see if we can get 4. We got plenty of time for it. Oh, it's not a snake, but this is pretty cool. That is a very old Pepsi can. So we came back to check on rattlesnake number 1 because we're this close, and he's lost his mind. I mean, he went from being about a foot off the ground to being three or so feet off the ground. That is so weird. All right, dude, well, we'll leave you to your green snake behavior. That is so weird. And that's where he was sitting earlier when we found him the first time. He was sitting on that log, and now he's just a certified tree boy. Well, there's our 4th rattlesnake of the day. It's a terrible view. It's just his head. But that is definitely a timber. Looking back at me.
Backing up. How did you spot that? Was he out a little?
No, I saw his head sticking out. I can see his tail. There he goes.
So this is a good stump hole.
Yeah, not a great look at him, but that is 4 timbers for the day. And there's another cottonmouth. right there. That's a pretty cool one to see too. Decent numbers of these guys today, but not nearly as many as I was expecting, honestly. I would have thought we'd see more. All right, there's our next cottonmouth of the day. This guy is also up off the ground in the bushes. Just looks like a fat slug in the bush. All right, guys, we just did a quick snake tally because we're kind of wrapping up. And we ended up with 17 total snakes that we could think of at least. And that includes the 2 that I know I did not show because Richard saw them and I didn't see them. So we're sitting around 15, that's a big deer, just took off. We're sitting around 15 snakes at least, and I think I've showed a lot of those. But just wow, what a day. Well, there's number 5. That is so ridiculous. This one is possibly even bigger than the last big one. This light is crap though. We'll try to get a closer look here in a second after we get some photos. This thing is just straight up on the crawl in some bushes. That is so ridiculous. 5 of these incredible snakes. We only really got a good look at 4 because the 4th individual was in a hole and we could only really see his face poking out, but man, this has been ridiculous. I think these guys are now tied with Ratsnakes and Cottonmouths as our most common snake of the day. A 3-way tie, 5 of each. All right, well the sun is coming out and backlighting this beautiful snake a little bit so we can see it just a little bit better. But just wow. I haven't even really been able to get a good look at the top of it to tell how good its stripe is, but another big one. Look at the string on that. Holy cow. Here's this guy from the other side with Richard in the background for scale. It's a big snake. All right, we're on the other side, so let's see if we can get a look at this rattle. Look at that. Nothing crazy, but definitely impressive. All right, everybody, we have wrapped up for the day and I'm getting something to eat because I'm starving. I haven't eaten since like 8 a.m. this morning. No, it was more like 7. It's been a long day so far, but fantastic. I really cannot believe we found upwards of 20 snakes today. I think that the final number was like 18 maybe. But yeah, just kind of ridiculous that winter can just explode like that out of nowhere. I mean, it's been so slow for the last couple weeks and then just bam. A crazy day with lots of snakes, lots of quality. It's like 78 degrees today. You can't get any better than that in December. It's going to be nice for a couple more days, so I'm going to try to take full advantage of it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode.